Hey, what is going on? In this video, we're gonna make a new coin purse. The coin purse I got is kind of on its way out, so drew up a little blueprint here, a little sewing pattern, and we're gonna make it in this video. It's gonna be a quick one. So what do we need before you start? Sewing pattern be printed on A4 paper. Okay, printed out on A4. 3mm stitch length recommended. That's good. Seam allowance quarter inch. Refer to the How to Sew a Coin Purse video on the Sewing Projects YouTube channel. Well, this is the video, so it doesn't exist yet, but it will. Yeah, materials. What do you need? You need a number 5 zipper slider, 4.75 inches a number 5 zipper coil. Yeah, you need some nylon strap, 1 inch wide, 4.75 inches long. Nylon or polyester sewing thread. I usually say that just because it lasts a bit longer than like cotton. Durable fabric. I'm going to be using 600D nylon, but you can use whatever you want. If you want to get this sewing pattern, 2 ways to get it. Either you can go to my Sewing Projects Facebook page, shoot me a message, and I will send you this PDF download absolutely free. Or you can, if you want to support my channel, you can head over to Etsy, download one of my sewing patterns there, and what I'll do is I'll add this as a bonus pattern, which comes with all the patterns there. I'll just add it as an extra file if I can do that. What else do we got going on here? Yeah, that's a little picture of a zipper. That's a picture of a webbing strap, and then this is going to be the main body shape. A couple of features, what I usually do on all my patterns. Let me move the camera down here. Oh, too much. There we go. This is going to be the placement, this shaded area. I do this on a lot of my patterns. This is going to be where you place the thing that it's at. So webbing strap placement, that's kind of the location where your webbing strap's going to go on the pattern. You're going to have lines here. It tells you where to fold. What else? Yeah, we got these little scissors here. That tells you to cut this out. Then we got these little dotted lines. This is your seam allowance. So that is your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then in the bottom of all my patterns, that's where I put the number, the product number. So this is 007. Let's get into it. What do we got to do first? We got to cut these out. We're going to cut them out, and then we're going to, use those cutouts to make the pieces in real life. Okay, we'll cut out the webbing strap first. I'm going to use my fancy shears. I got these for 500 pesos on Shopee, which is kind of like an Amazon here in Asia. We got it's like a website like Amazon called Shopee, but everything's really cheap, and sometimes it's actually good quality. So 500 pesos is equivalent to, what, $10 American, I think, something like that. And honestly, for the quality, look at these things. These things are solid. These things are solid, no complaints. Free shipping, came right to my house. Okay, there's your webbing strap. Put that over there. Okay, let's cut out the zipper. So I'm going to follow the little symbols there that tell me to cut it out. Usually I just put the little scissor symbol on the fabric shapes. I don't usually put it on the zippers and the nylon webbing straps. So this is a fancy pattern. I went all out on this one. No expense spared. Okay, come on, you. There we go. Gotta make it look fancy because I'm recording it. There we go. There's my number 5 zipper. This project is good for like when you've finished another project and you got all these like scrap pieces of like small fabric, and you're like, what am I gonna do with a piece of fabric 4.75 by 5.75? There's nothing I can make. Well, now you can make yourself a coin purse. That's what you can do with it. Nah, I'm just joking. But yeah. Usually I fast forward this on the video. If you're wondering why I don't talk in my other videos, it's because nobody wants to listen to this. Listen to this thing. Okay, what do we got going on? Oh my god, I messed that up. Okay, we got our main body shape. We are good to go. As you can tell here, if you look closely, they got the little folds there, so when we fold the fabric, that's where it's going to be folded. Okay, I went ahead and I just cut these out, so I've got my little webbing there. And I got my little zipper there. That's my zipper. I've already put the zipper pull on there, but I'm going to take it off again because it needs to be separated for this pattern. Okay, so we got it clipped. So with these patterns, you cut them out and you put it right on the fabric, and then you can just cut around it, and that will give you, if you've done it right, that should give you a shape. Okay, let's give this a whirl. Yeah, if you're wondering why I'm sucking at this, it's because I'm trying to use the scissors while looking through a camera lens at the same time, which isn't always the most efficient way of doing it. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. There we go. There we go, we got the main body now. So I think next thing to do is I think we're gonna sew the zipper to it, I guess. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take each side of the zipper and we're gonna stitch it to each side of the main body shape, so it should kind of look like that once it's stitched. So we'll put a 1/4 inch stitch in it, and then we'll fold it out and fold it over, and then put another stitch there over top of it to secure everything down. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna line this up with the edge. So this will be the bottom side of the zipper. So the top side of the zipper is facing the fabric. And we're just going to stitch a 1/4 inch stitch all the way down it. And where this product is like really tiny, it's very important that your measurements are precise. So usually start by hand cranking it, because with these little products, if you every little, like if you're making a big bag and you mess something up a 1/4 inch, it's not a big deal. But when you got something this tiny, something that's a 1/4 inch off is going to be very visible. So this is my 3mm stitch length. There we go. I want to get one of those little skinny feet. I used to use the 1/4 inch skinny foot on my industrial machines, but this machine didn't come with one, which I really want one. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so when you fold it out, that'll be the top side of the zipper. Awesome. So we'll do that again, but on the other side. Alright, we're on the other side now. So the top of the zipper is facing the fabric. Put it right to the end. We'll put our 1/4 inch stitch in there. So start by hand cranking it just to get her going. Okay, there we go. Put my little back stitch in there. Okay, my front stitch. Off we go. Okay, so we just finished sewing the zipper on there, and if you've made any of my other patterns, you kind of know how I do these zippers. So as I said, this is the bottom of the zipper, so when you're folding out, you'll see the top side of the zipper, and we'll put a nice crease in here, and then it makes a nice clean seam. So what we're going to do is we're going to use black thread, contrasting stitch on top of here, about 1/8 over top, and that's just going to sandwich everything. Get my focus here. That is going to sandwich everything together. Okay, so I just switched my presser foot over, so we're going to line it all up here. And I said this stitch is going to be visible, so it's important that I actually do a good job of this. So start by hand cranking the machine. Just do a little back stitch. Can I fit one more? Okay, just barely. Okay, let's do this. We'll just go nice and slow. Okay, and we'll just finish it off with a back stitch, and we're good. And that looks absolutely terrible, but whatever. I never claimed to be good at sewing. I never did. I can make a pretty decent pattern, but actually making the thing. It's funny because like my customers from Etsy will send me pictures of the products they made, and I'm jealous because they can actually sew better than me. Their products are actually better than the ones I make, and they're using my pattern too. So okay, maybe let's try 4mm. I think this machine only goes most 4mm thread length here. So let's try 4mm. See if it looks any better. Oh my god, it's even worse. Oh jeez. No. Let's take a look. Okay, you know what? That's not that bad. So the next step is we're gonna add our webbing strap. So this is the sewing pattern piece. So we'll place it on here, and if you can see, it's got these little lines here. That's gonna be where you're stitching. That's your seam allowance all the way around. And then you got a little fold mark here where you're gonna fold it. And that is gonna be like a little dangly thing you can put your finger through. So you can hold on to your little new coin purse. And so you got your fold mark here, so that's where it's going to be folded. But if you look on the other side, you've got another line. This is going to be where it's stitched from the other side. So it's going to overlap about a 1/4 inch. You're going to put 1/8 inch stitch in here to hold it in place. You're going to fold this over after that's stitched, and then you're going to stitch around these lines, and that should hold everything in place. And yeah, that's almost the final step. We're almost done. Okay, I put my stitch length back down to 3 millimeters. So we'll start off by putting the nylon strap here about a 1/4 inch in, right up to the top of the zipper here, and give that a little stitch in place, I guess. I have a confession to make. This is my first time actually ever making this. I just made the sewing pattern in my head, and hopefully everything matches up in real life. So you're seeing this for the first time as I'm seeing it, I guess. Come on. Okay, it's not too bad. That looks fine. Okay, so we got the 1/8 inch stitch here on the nylon webbing strap. So we're going to fold the whole thing over. If you notice on the sewing pattern, there's like a square here. So we're going to sew a square into that. That's the plan. 3 millimeter stitch length. Okay, and we're going to butt up the webbing right up until the top of the gray there. So it's going to butt up right atop. So it's going to be perfectly in line with the zipper seam. Okay, so we butted it right up against the zipper. We'll throw a couple of hand cranks on there, and we'll sew that square into it. And there's a step here that's very important, so pay attention. Once I get to the end of this, I'm gonna have to stop, and I'll show you what I mean here. So we're not gonna sew all the way to the edge. We're gonna leave just like over a 1/4 inch from the edge, because what we're going to do is we're going to end up folding this whole thing over before we do the final stitches. Okay. So, you know what, I think that's one more. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay. Yeah, that's very important. Do not sew all the way. You gotta leave over a 1/4 inch in, okay? Do not sew to the edge. Okay, and that final stitch here to make it a square, it's not really important, because when you fold this and do your final stitches, it's gonna stitch over top of it anyway, and it probably won't even matter. Okay, so as I just said, it's very important not to sew all the way to the edge here. You gotta leave at least a quarter inch in, or 3/8 of an inch in, because this little loop here is gonna fold all the way over here. And then when you fold this over and you do this stitch, you don't wanna trap it, and you'll see the finished result. It's actually pretty cool. So let me just get some close-ups for you here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So you're going to fold over the whole thing like that, and then the seam allowance for the final stitches will come up to here, so you're not going to stitch over the first piece of webbing. So yeah, pretty complicated, but you'll figure it out. So you'll stitch along here and it won't trap in that second piece of nylon. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold it in like this, so it's inside out, and I'm going to install that zipper pull And once the zipper pull's installed, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. There'll be a stitch down this side and a stitch down this side. Okay, so once you've turned it inside out and you got the zipper pull in, you should have something that kind of looks like this. And what you want to do now is you want to butt up the zipper to the top here. And we're going to clamp these down. So if you look on the sewing pattern, you have 2 fold lines. That's going to line up with this here and this here. That's where your folds are going to be. So I'm going to butt the zipper right up to the top here, stick a clip on her, and I'll do the same on the other side. But I don't want these clips all the way to the edge because I do have to stitch this 1/4 inch in, so I want enough room to get this under the sewing machine. So just like that. Okay, and then you still got this little tab sticking out here. That's gonna have to get folded inside because if you stitch it like this, it ain't gonna work. So what we'll do is we'll fold it inside like this, but we'll make sure that the other end of the nylon isn't actually gonna get trapped in the stitch here. So the only piece of nylon you should be stitching through, so the nylon strap you should be stitching through is this piece here. There should be nothing underneath. Okay, so when you put your 1/4 inch stitch in the side here, you should only be stitching through this piece of nylon, and that inner piece of nylon will not get stitched, just this outer piece here. Okay, so we'll start with the easy side first. So I'm just going to throw a 1/4 inch stitch all the way down here. And I like sewing through these types of zippers so they don't break your needle. It's just like a cheap coiled up zipper. So if it was like a thick zipper, like a Vislon or plastic zipper, you'd probably break your needle trying to sew through it. But with these, you can just sew right through it. Okay, and I'm actually going to go back up here too because I don't want my coins falling out of my coin purse. I want to make sure it's secure. Take that clip off now, it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna go down one more time. It's kind of overkill, but whatever. Okay, that should be good. Okay, time for the other side. Okay, so same deal as the other side. If you've tucked that piece of nylon in, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. And you know what, I can actually see the stitching right here. So as long as I'm on the inside of this, like stitching through here, I should be fine. Because that's 1/8 inch in, and that's about 3/8 in. So if I do my 1/4 inch stitch here, I won't clip that piece of fabric. If I've tucked it in as far as I can tuck it in. Yeah, that might not make sense to you. You might have to actually build this and play with it, and once you see it and feel it and in real time, it might be easier to understand. Or if you try and sew it and you mess it up, well, you'll only mess it up once because you'll see what I mean if you mess it up. So yeah, as I said, I'm just going to sew on the inside of that line. Oh, you son of a gun. There we go. See if I can get one more stitch in there. Yeah, okay, I'll take this clip off. Get rid of this tail. Okay, take that clip off. And oh, jeez. Okay, that should be good. Alright, so we'll turn this thing inside out and let's take a look. Okay, so if you got something that looks like this, you're on the right track. So the thing I don't like about this zipper is you actually have to pull on the zipper thing for it to actually move the zipper. It's like secure locking on, which kind of sucks, but that's all I got. That's all I got right now. Alright, let's get this thing inside out. Okay, I'm gonna finish doing this and I'll get back to you here in a second. Okay, so this is the finished product. So if you did everything right, it should look something like this. So we got the piece of nylon on the front, we got the little carry handle, which is very convenient. If you're wondering about the size, it'll fit like a full-size credit card in there. So you can put your cards in there, you can put your coins in there, and still have lots of room left over. So this is it. If you want to get this pattern for yourself, two ways. You can either shoot me a message on the Facebook page and I'll send you the PDF download absolutely free, or if you want to support the channel, head over to Etsy, get one of my other patterns, and I'll add this as a bonus pattern to all my existing patterns that I have. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Bye bye.